Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The program will begin shortly. If you can start finding your seats, we will begin shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Memphis, Tennessee, right here for the Tunnel to Towers official groundbreaking ceremony of our latest project right here, once again in Memphis, Tennessee. Give yourselves a nice round of applause and thank you for coming today.
My name is Bradley Blakeman, and I'm a board member of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. It's great to be here in your city, and it's an honor to be your host for this momentous day as we break ground in our Veterans Village. We're making history right here in Memphis. We'll offer over 100 rooms and supportive services, including employment assistance, recovery support, financial literacy, behavioral health support, legal advocacy, and so much more to honor our heroes and make sure that they can get back on their feet if they can. And for some of our veterans, this may be their last stop, and we're going to make sure they live in comfort and dignity, surrounded by a supportive service. We'll ask you now to please rise for the presentation of colors by the FDNY Ceremonial Unit and the Shelby County Sheriff's Office of Pipes and Drums, and we'll ask you to remain standing through the retirement of colors.
Detail 10 hut.
To sing our national anthem, please welcome one of Rolling Stone magazine's top 10 country artists you need to know, Nashville's own Julian Cardarelli.
Detail hand salute.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ready, shoot.
Thank you, Julian. Now to honor us with our invocation, please welcome Reverend Dr. Michael L.W. Moore, pastor of the Metropolitan Baptist Church.
Let us bow for a word of prayer. Oh, gracious and all-wise God, we come before you today to thank you for this opportunity to break ground. Lord, we thank you for this organization and its tireless work to make sure that our veterans have an opportunity to have an enhanced quality of life. We thank you for the fact that they're a part of the work of building people. And so, God, we pray your blessings upon this day so that, Lord, we may be blessed with your divine power to continue to distribute hope, to continue to build joy, to help to facilitate, oh God, the beloved community that you desire. We thank you, oh now, for this auspicious occasion and this divinely orchestrated day that will lead to the transformation of many lives forevermore. It's in your name we do pray, and we say, amen. At this time, I would like to ask that we all bow our heads for a moment of silence as we remember those that cannot be here with us today, especially our fallen veterans. May they never be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend. Please retire the colors. Please be seated. You know what Tunnel to Towers calls rain? Heroes' tears. That's what we have today, blessing us. We're thrilled to be here in the great state of Tennessee with all of you. We just learned that Tennessee's meaning is established and beautiful, and that truly lives up to the name of your great state. And Tunnel to Towers is dedicated to establishing ourselves in this beautiful town as we become members of your community and a permanent home for our homeless vets and those in crisis. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation was started in memory of firefighter Stephen Siller, who laid down his life while saving others in 9/11. On 9/11/2001, Stephen Siller had just completed his tour of duty in Manhattan, and he was leaving Manhattan and going through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to Brooklyn to play golf with his brothers. As he reached the Brooklyn side, he heard what was going on in back of him with the attacks on the World Trade Center. And he attempted to turn his car around and go back to Manhattan to respond, but the tunnel was blocked. He got out of his car and, donning 63 pounds of firefighter gear, he literally ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel and responded to the South Tower. And he died saving others. His body never recovered. That's his final resting place. As a board member of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, I've been honored to work for our military and first responders, and I too have a personal connection to 9/11. On September 11, 2001, I was a member of President George W. Bush's senior White House staff. My office was in the West Wing, and my responsibility was being the gatekeeper to the president. So I controlled all the president's time, in addition to correspondence, surrogate scheduling, and vetting and research. So every bit of the president's time I handled, and I always had the president scheduled for 21 days. We always knew what we were doing. And on that day, as you recall, the president was in Sarasota, Florida, speaking to elementary school children as part of our No Child Left Behind education policy. And the day on 9/11 at the White House started like any typical day in the White House. We had a senior staff meeting at 7 a.m. in the morning in the Roosevelt Room, and it lasted till about 7:30. And I returned to my office, and I always had my television on because I knew that outside events could affect the president's schedule, and certainly that happened on 9/11. And as I watched television, I'm from New York, I heard the first report of a plane that hit the Trade Center. And it was unfathomable to me that that could happen because it was a crystal clear, beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, similar to the weather we were experiencing in Washington. And then in real time, like so many millions of Americans and those around the world saw in real time, the second plane hit. I knew immediately America was under attack. I left my office, walked down the hallway to the Situation Room, thinking that they may have some answers. But they were watching the attacks in real time too. And we learned later that there's a delay, obviously, in what you see and what you know. The president was evacuated from Sarasota, and eventually he returned to the White House later that afternoon to address the nation that night. We were evacuated from the White House because we were told the plane that the passengers took down in Shanksville was coming for the White House. So I was responsible for 150 people at another site. And as we continued to work in behalf of the president, my sister was calling me. Her son was a senior court officer in Lower Manhattan, and he was a combat-trained Army medic. And we came to learn after the fact that he commandeered a jury van with supplies and responded to the South Tower. Like Stephen Siller, he died saving others at the Trade Center. That day, not only was I receiving calls from my sister, but my brother was on the board of the Port of New Jersey, and he was on the attacks in New York. Well, everybody has a 9/11 story. Everybody either has somebody that they knew or loved or perished that day, whether in New York or Shanksville, Pennsylvania, or the Pentagon. And Tunnel to Towers was born out of the sacrifice of Stephen Siller. And literally, the Siller family got together around a kitchen table and said that Stephen is not going to die in vain. We're going to do something in his memory to make other people's lives better. So the charity was started with its first mission to help 9/11 families, and then that later became a greater mission, and that was to make sure that we paid off the mortgages of fallen first responders and military that were killed in the line of duty that left small children behind. And that wasn't enough. So the board decided we needed to do more, and we built smart homes for critically injured first responders and military injured in the line of duty, and we built homes to their injury, wherever they want to live. And then 2 years ago, the board said we're not doing enough. And Frank Siller and the board decided when they found out there were over 40,000 homeless vets on the streets of America, that our mission now is to eradicate homelessness in America. And that is our current mission. We pay off the mortgages of fallen first responders and military, we build smart homes, and now we seek to eradicate homelessness around our country. Our foundation believes that no veteran should be left behind, and we are ensuring that no veteran is left out on the streets of our country that they volunteered to defend. Our model pairs high-quality housing with comprehensive supportive services to ensure our veterans live with comfort and dignity and hope as they work towards financial stability and independence. To date, through our Veterans Homeless Program, we've housed more than 5,000 homeless veterans, with another 5,000 for this year alone. We would have housed, by the close of this year, over 10,000 veterans. And that's what brings us here today to Memphis. There's a problem, we're here to fix it. And now to talk about our newest program, please help me welcome our Vice President of our Homeless Veterans Program, Gavin Naples.
Thank you, Brad. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gavin Naples. I'm the Vice President of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, heading up our Homeless Veteran Program. We're excited to be here today to break ground on this site that will soon serve as permanent housing and comprehensive wraparound supportive services to over 100 Memphis veterans. There's over 35,000 veterans currently experiencing homelessness in the United States, so we're obviously not stopping just in Memphis. We also have Veterans Villages projects completed and in the works in Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Denver, Colorado, Las Vegas, Nevada, Bradenton, Florida, Buffalo, New York, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Toms River, New Jersey, Charleston, South Carolina, Detroit, Michigan, Long Island, New York, and many others to come. Further, through our National Case Management Network, our foundation assists struggling veterans and their families throughout the nation every single day, no matter their location. As Brad stated, we've helped over 5,000 veterans since the program's inception, and that number is going to grow exponentially. I want to give a tremendous thanks to the unwavering dedication of my team, Luis Menendez, our Director of Construction and head of our construction team, Constance Barry, and all the amazing members of our National Case Management Network. They house veterans and their families in Memphis and around the nation every day, and all the supporters who champion this project to get us here. And while this building behind me is about to receive a complete gut renovation and facelift so we can create beautiful permanent apartments for our nation's heroes, it's not enough to just provide housing. We will also provide our veterans with a full suite of services aimed at addressing root causes of veteran homelessness, including case management, behavioral health support, entitlements assistance and VA healthcare and claims navigation, employment assistance and job training, transportation support, legal advocacy, mental health support, peer support, along with many other services which will occur on-site, providing a pathway to rehabilitation for our veterans, entrepreneurial career paths for our veterans, reunification with veterans' families, and eventual reintegration into the community. But we need your help. Reintegration means being welcome to the surrounding community and offering to our nation's heroes, the men and women that put their lives on the line for the freedoms that we get to enjoy every day, the support and nurturing they need. So once we're completed with this incredible project behind me, we welcome the residents of Memphis to come visit, bake some cookies, knit some quilts, cook a meal, take on an apprentice, take our veterans on a fishing trip, paint some pictures, write some cards, or just come and spend some time with our residents. Because that community is the secret sauce that provides that platform. So we can never repay the tremendous debt owed to our veterans, but together we can absolutely ensure that they're never left out on the streets again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gavin. Great work. You know, Tunnel to Towers believes in the theory of force multiplication. We have over 1,000 partners nationwide who help us in our effort. Tunnel to Towers can't do it alone. Through our National Case Management Network, we physically don't have to be in a place to help our veterans in need. We have case managers, whether you're in Boise, Idaho, Sacramento, wherever you might be, and you have a need, we're here to help. We'd also like to extend our deepest appreciation to our veterans for their service that has ensured our freedom and our safety of our families and loved ones. We ask all service members and veterans who are here, please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you for your service. I would also like to honor our first responders. So first responders, please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. Thank you for your service. Today is a momentous day here in Memphis as we stand on grounds that will become a beacon of hope for so many of our nation's heroes. Here in Memphis, we'll be renovating the existing building behind me and creating an apartment complex with 105 units, which will include wraparound supportive services on the first floor. And here's our standard. If Frank Siller or you as a donor would not live there, we're not interested in putting anybody else there either. We don't shelter people. We house people in comfort and dignity with the services on site that they need to repair their lives. And none of this could be possible without the generosity of the American people and the Foundation's generous supporters. We're blessed with so many who contribute to our cause, from our donors who give $11 a month, our community and government leaders who work tirelessly, and our partners for continued support. Each and every one of them, and each and every one of you, coming here today, help us to do good for others. We have a few of our Foundation's extended family and supporters and friends here with us today, and would like to acknowledge and thank them, and please hold your applause until all have been announced. Robert Collin, a member of our board of directors, is here. Thank you, Bob, for being here. And of course, Julian. Every time we've asked Julian to appear and sing for us, she puts her own career aside and makes sure she is here to help do good for all of us. So many of you have been instrumental in helping us integrate in this community, and we're so honored to have representatives from Governor Bill Lee's office with us today, representative from Senator Blackburn's office and Haggerty's office here today. Congressman Kustoff's office is also represented. Dr. Edmund Ford Jr., Shelby County Commissioner, District 9. Mikkel Lowry, Shelby County Commissioner, District 8. And Amber Mills, the Shelby County Commissioner from District 1. Thank you for being here with us. Neil Harkavy from Harkavy, Stanberg, and Kaplan. Everybody needs a good lawyer, and these guys have done a great job in shepherding us through the process in order to get this done and get it done on time. Our architects, Leo A. Daly, thank you all. Please give a round of applause to all our great partners. And a special thanks to all those folks who pitched in to help us today. The FDNY, all the way from New York, the FDNY Ceremonial Unit is here. The City of Memphis Fire Department, Shelby County Sheriff's Office, Pipes and Drums. And of course, you're about to have a spectacular meal by Memphis' own Rendezvous Barbecue, which I'm very happy to say we all get to experience just how delicious they are at lunch to follow. Tim Delphium, Senior Event Sales Director at Mahaffrey Events, thank you. Michael Petrangelo of the Knights of Columbus, District 15196, thank you for being here and all that you represent in helping our heroes. All the residents of Memphis that came out to show their overwhelming support for Tunnel to Towers, this incredible project, and our national heroes. Please give everybody a big round of support. And what better way to celebrate America than to bring Jillian back up to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Jillian. At Tunnel to Towers, we're blessed with fantastic leadership. Patriots all. Every staff person who comes to work with a mission. And one of our great leaders is here with us today. Please welcome Executive Vice President of Development and Strategic Initiatives, Matt Mahoney.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everyone, for being here today with us. I know seated here, we are all thinking the exact same thing. Why did I leave my umbrella in the car? Now, hopefully I won't speak too long, the rains will abide, but I'm here today on behalf of the entire foundation to thank you for being with us. You may be wondering, what in the world are a bunch of New Yorkers doing here in Memphis, building these permanent residences for our veterans? Why is it important to us? Why are we here in the first place? And I'll tell you why. You'll see behind me, and you've seen all throughout this pouring rain, you've seen a bunch of men in uniforms going back and forth. That's the New York City Fire Department, both retired members and active duty members who are here on their own time as volunteers. Why in the world are they in Memphis, in their uniforms, in the rain, getting soaked? I'll tell you why.
Brad recounted Stephen's story, and he recounted his own story on September 11th, and as he mentioned before, we all have our own. For those of us who were there during the attacks, myself, the members of the fire department that are here, we knew after the first couple of days, being on that pile, looking for our friends, looking for our family members, we knew right away that we were not alone. The rest of America came to New York City to help us in every way possible. We had cops from Chicago directing traffic. I had no idea where they were sending those cars. I don't think they knew where they were sending the cars, but they were directing traffic. We had firefighters, volunteer and paid from all over the country, who came to help at Ground Zero to relieve our men and women who were working beyond exhaustion, to share in our grief, to give us hope. We knew we were not alone. One other thing that we knew, very soon after, Brad mentioned that he worked for President Bush, and I think everyone remembers when President Bush came to the pile at Ground Zero and gave that famous speech with the bullhorn. I can tell you I was there, as close as I am to you are now, and it was completely impromptu. And that message he gave that the men and women who did this would hear from all of us soon set the crowd cheering, but we knew then and there that our work one day would be over, and that the work of bringing justice to our country would be taken up by the men and women of our armed services. I cannot imagine one firefighter, one police officer, one emergency worker from New York City in September of 2001 being okay with a member of our armed services sleeping on the street. I could not imagine it. Not for 1 second. So we are dedicated. It is our duty. It is our honor. It is our responsibility for those who have served their country and the community to look out for one another. And that's the task which we're set upon today. I can tell you something, in the age of cynicism and everyone hating each other in politics, if you watch the news, it's terrible all the time, no matter what side you're on, right? If you're on the left or you're on the right, it's awful. If you're in the middle, you're confused between awful and okay on a daily basis. But I'll tell you this, as I get to travel the country, I meet wonderful people of all political persuasions and all beliefs. They are people that really want to help their fellow Americans. And I can tell you that Democrats and Republicans, on the left, on the right, somewhere in the middle, everyone we go to for assistance in this, whether it's helping us understand the zoning, whether it's trying to get some funding, everyone wants to pitch in. Everyone has pitched in. There are things we still hold sacred in this country, and I think the one thing we want to work towards is that the word homelessness and the word veteran are never again in the same sentence in this country. Now, myself, born and raised in New York City, my father was a veteran. He spent 6 years in the Marine Corps in Vietnam. We experienced homelessness for a short while as well. There are so many of our veterans who come out of the service and are housing insecure. There are so many members of our service who come out after their deployments, after their term is up, and they experience a profound loss in family because the family they had, the men and women they served with, are off to the next rotation. They're over to the next base. They're being deployed somewhere else. We cannot forget our brothers and sisters. We cannot forget those who have put on the uniform, those who have served. So Gavin mentioned quite eloquently before, come here, bake some cookies with them, spend some time with them, fill out a card. I cannot tell you what that means to people. Do that. I cannot tell you that how much for so many of our veterans who have experienced homelessness, that the holidays have been soup kitchen visits. They've been moments, fleeting moments of charity and kindness. Well, now they have a home, a real home. This isn't a shelter. This isn't a place where you rotate out of bedrooms. This is their apartment. You're going to go inside and you have an opportunity to go inside, take a virtual tour. I mean, you can actually what those units are going to look like. We've got some renderings up there and some actual photos from other properties so you can see the quality that this is going to be. This is their home. Come spend time with them. Come visit them on Christmas. Make those holidays special. Don't just show up for the free barbecue. It's really good barbecue. You all know that because you're from here. We're lucky. We're from New York. We don't get barbecue like this. Our idea of a barbecue is like what you would call a backyard grill or cookout. You know, that's barbecue, real barbecue. But come back for the holidays. Come visit with them. Come volunteer. Show them that they are not. Show them they're a part of your community, that they are welcome. Because they put their lives on hold and they put their lives on their line for you and your family. Please don't ever forget that. We won't, because we knew that to be done, and we knew that the men and women of the New York City Fire Department, Police Department couldn't do that. We could look for our brothers and sisters. We could comfort civilians. But what we couldn't do, go out and get the bad guys that created this awful, terrible day for us in New York and for this country. So we thank you for being here. Thank the firemen if you have an opportunity. Say hi. They love it. They're big softies. Don't let them intimidate you. And thank each and every one of you for your service. I know many of you have served in different capacities. Tunnel to Towers, we're honored to do this work every single day. This is, I think, the 4th or 5th groundbreaking we've done this year on villages like this around the country. We're not done yet. As we do that, we'll pay over 200 mortgages off this year for Gold Star families and fallen first responder families in this country. While we do that, we'll build over 40 smart homes for our injured veterans and first responders in this country. We will never, ever stop the work that we have in front of us. Thanks to all of you, we know we'll continue to do that. So God bless you. Thank you for being here today. Please make sure not only you have barbecue inside and share a meal with us, please make sure you come inside the building and see what it's going to be like. Look at those renderings. It's important that you know the kind of quality that we want to give our veterans and help spread the word. Thank you so much.
And now we'd like to welcome our invited guest and distinguished guests over for our groundbreaking. Over to my right.
This brings our Homeless Veteran Program event in Memphis to a conclusion. Up next, a message from Tennessee's elected officials.
Good morning. Let me first say I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. We've been voting all this week in Washington. And as I'm sure you know, Shelby County has the highest population of veterans across the entire state of Tennessee. In addition, West Tennessee has a high population of veterans who've duly served our nation. For all of these reasons, I'm gratified that the Tunnel to Towers Foundation chose Memphis as the site for their new Veterans Village. I'm also really pleased that it will offer our veterans health, job placement, financial literacy, and other crucial services and benefits. We all know how much we owe to the men and women who have served in the armed services. From the bottom of my heart, I thank every person here today who's answered the call to serve our great nation. You are a reminder to all of us that freedom is not free. We must fight to protect it and ensure that its survival for generations to come. Our veterans and their families have earned and deserve our strongest support and admiration. The groundbreaking of this Veterans Village today, it's a monumental step forward in an effort to provide every veteran access to housing as well as comprehensive support services that will help them become financially stable and independent. Thank you to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation for all of your foresight and dedication to this incredible project. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation, it's a terrific organization, literally providing a lifeline to the many men and women across the nation who have sacrificed for all of us. To those men and women and to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, we offer our sincerest gratitude, our gratefulness, and our appreciation. I look forward to seeing this Veterans Village open and serving West Tennessee's brave veterans. Thank you to all of you, and may God bless you all.
Certainly, I wish I was with you in Memphis today. What a historic day. Making certain that Tunnel to Towers and the city of Memphis, they're stepping up to do the Veterans Village and provide housing for homeless veterans. As a member of the Senate VA Committee, we know that there are 35,000 veterans that are in need of shelter. We know that they are in need of services, and we know that through Veterans Village and the National Case Management Network, that they are teaming up, working together, making certain that veterans get the benefits that they need. So congratulations. I wish you all success on this project, and certainly I wish that I was there with you for this groundbreaking today.
Hi, I'm Congressman Mark Green. Thank you for inviting me to say a few words. I wish I could be there with you today in person. To the volunteers and organizers of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, thank you for all you do. And to the family of firefighter Stephen Siller, the reason for this incredible organization, thank you for carrying on Stephen's legacy by making such a massive impact in the lives of others. I know how hard it can be coming home after serving overseas. During my 3 tours of duty serving in the War on Terror, I lost dear friends. Many came home with scars, both seen and unseen. When I returned home, I had a lot to process. I turned to God, my family, nature, spending hours fishing, talking to God, and dealing with the pain of loss and the terrible things you see in war. For those veterans and first responders struggling with the emotional and physical consequences of service, I'm so grateful there are organizations like Tunnel to Towers to step in. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is an incredible organization that has helped thousands of veterans, Gold Star families, and first responders, including many from Tennessee. You stand shoulder to shoulder with our heroes and their families. Because of you, veteran homelessness has been reduced, military families have mortgage-free homes, and countless lives have been touched. You wake up each and every day dedicated to serving. Few can say that about themselves. You ensure not a day goes by that an American hero isn't forgotten, which is a critical mission. Last year, you cared for 2 families from my home state. After Highway Patrol Sergeant Harold Lee Russell II and Detective Matthew Blansett tragically lost their lives in a helicopter crash, you paid off their families' mortgages. Thank you for this act of love and service in their time of grief. Today, your Veteran Villages program provides housing, assistance, and access to supportive services, breaking ground in cities across America, including today in Memphis. Congratulations. Thanks to this phenomenal program, you have helped 3,300 veterans in just the last year. I'm excited to hear that 100+ Tennessee veterans are permanently housed through this program and will receive benefits such as mental health services, job placement, financial literacy assistance, and more. We honor you, Tunnel to Towers Foundation, for all your extraordinary work. Thank you for making a meaningful difference in the lives of our American heroes and their families. Thank you.